Exploring the issues that matter most in Indiana. This is In Focus with Dan Spieler.
Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett opening parts of the city's economy this week, while other safety guidelines still remain in place in Marion County. Amidst this ongoing coronavirus crisis, it was also a pretty monumental week in Indiana politics, with the state's attorney general suspended 30 days effective tomorrow. And on both fronts, the coronavirus and Curtis Hill, we simply don't know what will happen next. Let's start with the news at the State House. Curtis Hill's law license suspended 30 days starting tomorrow, but not before he weighed in on Mayor Hogsett's extended order prohibiting religious services of more than 25 people. Hill calling that, quote, unlawful religious discrimination, in his words. It's still not clear what will happen in the coming days and weeks in terms of the Attorney General's job. The governor and other Republican leaders had called for Hill to step down when groping allegations first surfaced 2 years ago. Here's what the governor had to say about the situation this week.
There's no good news in all of this for anyone and everyone that's involved in this specific case, but suffice it to say, my position, my personal position, has not changed since I reviewed the facts myself going on about 2 years ago.
All right, so what happens next with Curtis Hill? This week I spoke with party leaders on both sides about all the developments at the State House this past week and what it means moving forward this election year, which is 2 weeks until the primary and a month from both state parties holding what will now be virtual conventions.
Yeah, it was a big decision. We've been working on it for more than 10 weeks. Once we started to see some of the longer dated cancellations and learning more about the virus, we knew that we had to at least do some contingency planning. For this year's convention, the voting will be done by mail. We'll mail ballots out to the delegates. The delegates will be able to select their top candidate, and if they so choose, rank the remaining candidates.
I know we're still waiting on legal questions to be answered about Curtis Hill's suspension and what that means in terms of whether there is a vacancy. Do you suspect as of today he will still be one of those candidates seeking the nomination when the virtual convention comes around in June?
I have no way to know that Dan. Ultimately, that'll either be a legal decision or a decision that Curtis Hill has to make. Obviously, the Supreme Court was very specific and direct in their findings that the four victims had been inappropriately touched by Curtis Hill. I think that's a very damaging finding by the top court in our state, and something that our delegates are going to have to give really due consideration, and they're going to have to really think about how voters across this state are going to view it, because most are not going to view it very favorably.
This was a long time coming. We have maintained from day one that Curtis Hill's actions were disgraceful, certainly well below the conduct of the office. If he had a shred of integrity, he would have resigned a long time ago. What do I think moving forward based on the news on the GOP state convention? I really don't know what's going to happen with the Supreme Court. Two things are clear, though. Republicans are responsible for his actions, and Curtis Hill. They should have used the legislative process to get rid of him years ago. They chose not to.
I want to ask you as well about the controversy this week involving State Representative Jim Lucas. We heard some Democrats calling for his resignation, others who said that the Republican Party needs to do more to condemn his statements. What was your reaction to the post that he put on Facebook that caused controversy this past week?
It's just completely unnecessary. Whether you believe Jim Lucas or you don't in his explanation, it's in extremely poor taste and can be taken in a very derogatory manner. So I hope that at some point Jim Lucas learns from these mistakes, and whether his intent is poor or whether it is pure, he's got to think through what he's putting up. He's an elected official, and whether, again, it's just ignorance of how it's going to be viewed or intent, I'm hopeful in the future that he thinks through these things, because it does reflect poorly on the party.
All right, now to Washington, with the House back in session to tackle new legislation Friday, though it's already met some opposition in the Senate.
The HEROES Act puts workers and families first, as my colleagues have said, as Congressman Quigley just said, by safeguarding their economic security and making sure we have the testing needed to protect people's health and safely reopen our economy.
I can tell you that's going to be a non-starter in the Senate on the Republican side. I don't think it's going to fly, and unless it's, tailored down to basically cover things that we were wanting to do and we missed, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think it's political staging.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he's in no rush to pass another relief bill. This week, we're hosting another virtual town hall with Indiana lawmakers and mayors across the state. We're answering your questions on the economic impact Wednesday night at 7 on Fox 59, CBS 4, and TV stations across the state of Indiana.